What is happening? It's Carl from Who Are These Podcasts. I want to let you know you can catch us live in Nashville on Saturday, May 14th. I will be there. Croge, Trucker Andy, Vinny, producer Chris, Dr. Steve Shuley, Egar, Jen from the Jingles Department, both our review girls, Vic and Casey. Go to WATPlive.com and you can purchase tickets. Check us out in Nashville on May 14th, WATPlive.com. Today, we'll be reviewing a show called Forbidden Fruits with Julia Fox and Nikki Takash. This is a suggestion from my buddy Drew, who's never wrong. We have both listened to it separately. We have not discussed it with each other beforehand. Let's get into it. This show hosted by Julia Fox, and as I said, Nikki Takash, although it's really more about Julia Fox than anyone else. You familiar with her?
I am now.
You are now?
I wasn't, but...
Well...
Just like, what, the chick from Uncut Gems.
The chick from Uncut Gems who was recently dating Kanye.
Right.
And so she has this podcast where they talk about how hot they are.
Yeah.
And they talk to other people about how hot they are.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of vocal fry and likes. It's really right up our alley.
The trajectory of this is being in a movie with Adam Sandler that's acclaimed to dating somebody to doing a podcast. It's like you're going backwards.
However, it is a Spotify exclusive, so maybe it's $100 million deal. Who knows?
Right.
Could be getting Joe Rogan money over there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the guest introduction because this is very interesting. This is a woman known as Alexis Haynes, now formerly Alexis Nyers, and they're very excited to be talking to her.
And today's guest, I'm actually freaking out that she's coming on our podcast. This is like my childhood dream come true. But it's
none other than Alexis Nyers, who now goes by Alexis Haynes. You may know her from the amazing reality show Pretty Wild.
Or her insane public scandal,
The Bling Ring.
The Bling Ring, when she robbed Orlando Bloom with all her friends.
Had a movie by Sofia Coppola made after her, and her, whatever, she was played by Emma Watson.
All right, are you following this at all?
I mean, how much explanation does it require before I'm like, oh, all right.
Are you familiar with Alexis Nyers?
No.
It's okay.
Not in any
you
way.
can admit that. It's fine.
But they're just like, oh, we're so excited. Producer Chris is here from the Isotopes. Have you heard of him? No.
Nobody has.
I'm not excited about this at all.
Well, apparently she was on this reality TV show. And it only went one season because she was a hardcore drug addict at the time. She was also a teenager at the time. And she knew early on that she just wanted to get paid to party.
I didn't want to just get married young, which I ended up doing anyways, and becoming a housewife. And really, I just wanted to figure out how can I get paid to party? And so I quickly became one of the Hollywood club scene girls.
Same.
And it was every promoter wanted Tess and I because we have these really large personalities and we're really funny. We're super outgoing. We know how to make people laugh.
Twice you talked about how funny she was.
Right.
I listened to her for an hour on this show.
There's no evidence of that.
There's no evidence that she's funny. Oh, you know what? They paid me to party because I'm just so funny. No. We would get a clown if we wanted to party with someone who's funny.
Yeah, you shot up and then fell over and your dress went over your head. That's why they're inviting you to hang out.
That's why half the room is laughing their asses off right now. Not because you're funny. And then they talk about, so she landed this role on this reality show. And how do you land a role on a reality show, Andy?
Yeah.
You ever hear of the book The Secret?
Yes.
She's got it all figured out.
So I go back to my mom and she's like, all right, we're going to start doing this manifestation prayer together every morning, saying that we get the show, that we're making X dollar amounts, that it's picked up by a major network. And sure enough, about 2 months later, that's exactly what happened. We got paid down to the dollar amount of what we said.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild.
What are you calling it? Wish it, want it, do it.
That's all they had to do was think about a dollar amount, and then they were offered a dollar amount, and then they got a TV.
Shoot up until a television deal falls in my lap.
Right, that's all you have to do. You don't have to work hard, you don't have to study, skip school, just hope that someday, don't hope, believe.
Break into celebrities' houses.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that. So, because they even say to her, they go, okay, great. So you were able to wish this thing into happening, but it actually turned out to be terrible because you got on hard drugs, you got arrested, and you were robbing people's houses in order to pay for your drug habits. And of course, she has an answer for that too.
You manifested a lot of shit into your life,
Well,
too.
I always say that, be careful what you wish for. That's literally my fucking motto, because you literally got exactly what you wanted, you know?
Yes.
What's with the platitudes? Like, Stuttering John does it all the time too. I always say, I've never once said I always say anything. Well, you know me, guys. You know what I always say.
Yeah. You know what I always say? 5 Coors Light might as well be 6. Might as well finish the 6-pack. That's what I always say.
Day without a buzz is a day that never was. That's what I always say. All right, Andy, what did you bring as far as
Okay.
this amazing show, Forbidden Fruits?
Yeah, I have a problem with Spotify. I was not able to download the clip Spotify. It's a pain in my asshole.
Yeah, you
And
can't download the MP3 files.
I'm not a
from
computer
Spotify.
guy. So instead, I went and found the Call Her Daddy interview
Yes.
with Julia Fox. And
Fascinating, by the way.
basically, are you interested in learning how to sponge off somebody who's rich? This is how you do it. And what the fuck's their name from Alex?
Yeah,
from,
Alex Cooper, yeah.
All right, Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy just wants to know all about how Julia landed Kanye in clip 1.
And this is before they broke up. This is from about a month ago.
Yeah, this is while they were currently dating.
Yeah, I think
Right.
they broke up a week after this interview because I actually brought this to the Drew and Mike show we talked about. This is a fascinating episode. I have to say.
So this is their meet cute.
Do you remember the first thing he said to you?
Ever in life?
Yeah.
My balls, your check!
I don't remember that being part of the show. Like I said, I listened to it.
Oh yeah, Kanye was there too.
I don't remember that. Do you remember the first thing the most famous guy in the world said to you? Said to me? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Like,
That's all anybody cares about or wants to know from you.
yes.
And then she talks about, in clip 2, she talks about like what she thought was attractive about Kanye West.
Let me guess. Billions of dollars.
What was your first impression of him?
Super magnetic, like very attractive, like not I don't even mean it like he's attractive physically, but I mean also just like the vibe is very like attractive,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you at least for me, like I felt like I wanted to gravitate toward, you know what I mean? Like it was very like when
Yes.
that happens, like
Oh my God.
sparks,
You're like, that person has
an
something.
aura.
And that aura of millions of dollars and fame and talent, I was attracted to an aura about him. His personality.
I mean, the guy is charismatic. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I see through the
I
bullshit
like
a little bit on
Kanye,
that one
but
too.
let's not pretend that the first thing you were attracted to was the fact that he was famous.
Yeah, I know. There's another thing. I don't know if you pulled it or not, but on their second date ever, she talks about what she did. I guess the paparazzi were following her around, so people know about this. But she goes, "Yeah, I thought we were going to go back to his hotel room and play Uno."
Clip 4. Girl.
Do you have that clip? That's so amazing.
I just thought we were gonna go and like just hang out, like play Uno or something. He really likes Uno. I just thought we were gonna do that, and
I'm pausing it real quick. What kind of adult man in their 40s really likes Uno?
How can he wrap his mind around all those rules?
Yeah, no, it's a very complicated game. All right, fuck it, let's just play chess. I can't figure this game out.
A quick game of chess.
I did happen to catch an episode of The Family Feud where it was Kanye and the Kardashians on Family Feud, and only because Kanye he just has like these normal things that he's into, like Uno and watching Family Feud, and he insisted on being on the Family Feud.
That's awesome. I would love to be on Family Feud.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not
awesome.
knocking him for that. I'm
Yeah.
knocking him for playing Uno.
Oh, he was having a great time.
He's gonna bring this slut back to his hotel to play Uno. I mean, thankfully that's,
that's
not what
what
happened.
she
I
thought
know.
was gonna
Oh, I'm
happen.
sure she did too.
Why
Two
would you
people
believe-
playing Uno. How fun is that?
Yeah.
Ooh, reverse. Your turn.
Gotcha, bitch.
I got tons of Uno jokes. I'm gonna save a few of them for later.
and I walk in and like all the furniture in the hotel room has been like pushed into the bedroom, and like there's all these racks like lining all the walls, and it was like a dream. And it's also just like the thought behind it, and like he had also just landed at like earlier in the evening, so it was like how did he even You know what I mean? But
It's
he
so
makes
romantic.
it
The
happen.
thought behind it, he told his handlers to
Right.
make a fuck pad for him.
Right,
Can you turn
yeah.
this into a fuck pad, please?
Yeah. How did he do it? He yelled at his assistant until he's like, "Hey, Cracker, go rearrange my hotel room, or you're never going to be a failed producer."
Yeah, the thought behind it. Wow.
He somehow made it happen.
So impressive. All right, I want to get back to this Alexis woman who's got life all figured out because as I played for you, she said all she had to do was imagine herself being a reality star, and then it did happen to the exact dollar amount that she wanted. And she goes on more about how you can think things into existence.
That notoriety and that moment of fame really came with like a price tag associated with it. And I think that was really because the power of thought is really powerful, but the power of your subconscious belief systems is more powerful. And if you're not aware of what your underlying subconscious belief systems are, they will play out in your life until you learn those lessons and until you free yourself of those subconscious belief systems.
All right, check, please. I thought that we could just like wish things into existence. Now she's going, yeah, but your subconscious is actually more powerful. All right, well, then how do you change that? You can't. It's your subconscious. Oh. So this is all bullshit. Oh, okay.
I hate these fucking trash bags that are. I did heroin for years, and it was a problem to everyone around me, but I wouldn't change a thing because it got me to where I am today. Okay. Yeah, you did everything right. When you were fucking sucking off a dealer.
There's two things I want to play based on what you just said.
Okay.
And the first one is this.
It ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me. I have no regrets. And when people hear that, they're often like, you don't regret robbing someone's house. It's like, no, come on, let's put some nuance here. Let's have some context. Like, of course I regret my decision to rob Orlando Bloom's house. That was not a good decision. Even though I'm very much so like, fuck capitalism, fuck the patriarchy, tax the rich, like super left. It's like, let's tax the rich, not rob their houses. Like, I'm not the modern day Robin Hood here, okay?
Right.
So it sounds like maybe I have no regrets is not the statement for you. Maybe that's not the words that you use. It's out of your mouth.
Right.
I have no, I like to say I have no regrets. Do you regret robbing Orlando Bloom? Yeah, that was shitty.
Yeah. So you do have regrets.
What should I say that'll make me the victim and the hero?
Right.
Just tell me those words.
Listen, I know you guys want me to be the next Robin Hood. I am not. All right. I can't bear this responsibility.
It's not my fault.
you're
It's
so humble.
the patriarchy's fault and the media and paparazzi's fault.
So you did listen to this episode.
Oh, yeah. I listened.
Okay.
I just couldn't clip it because I'm an idiot.
The best is this is at the very end when they're talking about what a great guest she was.
It's like a very exciting person to be friends with. Just like good at life.
Yeah, very good at life.
Like you're just like the one.
Oh, thank you.
How do you figure she's good at life? She was a heroin addict as a teenager, lived on the streets. I mean, we'll get into all of this stuff. But after hearing this story, the last thing I would think is, this woman's good at life.
Yeah. That drug addict criminal that was breaking into people's homes. Wow.
Isn't it funny that they make a movie about her and her friends breaking into famous people's homes, and now it's like a good thing?
Right.
That's amazing. They made a movie about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. They made movies about Al Capone also.
Right. Exactly. They're all taking this very seriously.
I think there's so many misconceptions. I really was only at Orlando Bloom's house.
Got it.
I was never in anybody else's house. I didn't take part in any of the other robberies.
What was his house like?
It was very modern. I mean, I was in a blackout, so
So she's talking about all these robberies. Like, what was Orlando Bloom's house like? Tell me about it. And then that was like a Columbo moment right there. She goes, "Oh, it's really modern." I mean, I was black. I was in a blackout.
Yeah.
Ah, just one more thing.
It was, yeah.
How did you know it was modern?
It was a lot nicer than the shooting gallery I normally pass out in.
Well, this is what's funny about it is they have so much fun talking about doing heroin and hitting your rock bottom. It's like the funniest shit in the world to them.
that house was a fake house. I was really living in a Best Western down the street, shooting heroin in between scenes. It was not pretty.
I remember seeing there was leaked photos of you freebasing heroin. I don't know how those leaked or where I found them, but
I'll tell you.
junkie ass me found them, and my jaw was on the floor because I was like, oh my God, this girl I love from TV is doing the shit that I do.
Yes. Yeah.
I was shook.
LOL. Yeah, you were caught doing heroin. Not that I was doing that. Oh, God. We're two peas in a pod, us, too. Are we BFFs now? What's going on? Here's another example later on. She's talking about how she had to go to rehab, and then she was in and out of rehab, and then she was on probation, and she fucked that up.
I stopped showing up to probation because I went back to panhandling, and I'm sorry, like panhandling's a full-time job, and I needed like a lot of drugs. It was like
You were homeless. And you're saying that it took up all your time begging for money? This woman, she is hilarious.
She's got
killing
life
it.
figured out.
Yeah, she's good at life.
She's good at life. Holy shit.
How fucking dare you say that?
Andy, I'm on a roll. I'm going to keep going.
Cool.
Because this woman, I couldn't get enough of her. Now, this is her talking about when she was doing the reality show. She was a full-time junkie at the same time she was doing this show.
yeah, I mean, that's the danger of like, you can't trust. And I think that that's where a lot of my paranoia came in is like, once you become in the spotlight, like you really cannot trust anyone. I couldn't trust my mom. I couldn't trust my sister. I couldn't trust my best friend. I couldn't trust the producers.
They couldn't trust you. You're the problem here. She's like, the problem with being a heroin addict, you can't trust anyone. They're all trying to screw you over. Are you retarded?
Yeah.
And the reason why...
None of those people had my heroin. Right? I can't trust them.
Well, the reason why she even brought it up is because when she got to her heroin dealer's house, she immediately started smoking this heroin because she was like so desperate for it. And then he took a photo of it and gave it to TMZ. So you couldn't trust your heroin dealer is what you mean. Right. Yeah, I believe that. That sounds right. Not surprised by that. All right, Andy, I'll give the floor back over to you. Sir.
Meanwhile, back at Call Her Daddy.
Yes.
This Julia woman is just, she can't stop being so proud that she's dating Kanye West. Clip 3, I called this douchebags.
After your first meeting in Miami, you have this like whirlwind 24-hour like moment. And then like, how did you guys leave it before you went to New York?
Oh my gosh, I was only supposed to go there for the night and then I was supposed to fly back the next day. We ended up staying like 3 or 4 extra days. And it was like we were on the Kanye workout plan. Like we got to work. We were like, okay, we're going to do this. Like if I'm going to be seen with you, like I need to, step it up a little bit.
Bitch, you speak when spoken to now.
Was it a whirlwind of 3 days of Kanye's dick in your mouth? Was it?
Sounds like a shopping spree.
Right.
Is that what that sounded like to you? She's like,
Right.
well, look, if there's paparazzis out here taking photos, I need a nicer bag, obviously.
I was so exhausted from him buying things for me for 3 days. It was
I had to point to the thing I wanted, and then he'd have to point to a guy to grab it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work for all of us.
Yeah. His assistant kept dropping my shopping bags. It was so annoying.
It's so annoying. She's fired. I told him to fire her. So it's all good.
And then clip 5, the entitlement of this woman, she's like, oh, I've earned my place. I paid my dues just by being around.
Have you ever felt in these moments like a little overwhelmed?
No.
Why do you think?
I don't know. I'm just like grown and like also I grew up in New York City. I grew up around celebrities. You know what I mean? I know how to like, and also I really feel like I've like earned my place to be there. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously I'm not on their level and I'm not saying I am, but I feel like I've like put in the work.
Hey, try not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot.
So you're a succubus that feasts on cock and becomes famous. That's you didn't do anything. In what
She grew
way?
up in New York City. She's used to hanging out with celebrities.
Oh, all right. Just growing up in New York.
That's all it takes.
That means you're entitled to being
There's
famous.
not a lot of people who grow up in New York City. Oh, no, no, there's actually millions. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Never mind. There goes that. I thought maybe she had a point. I hate that thing where people act like they belong or they were destined for fame because of where they grew up. Well, yeah, of course I was destined for fame.
Yeah.
I grew up in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Lower East Side, of course. What else was going to happen? Literally anything. All right, let's get back to the other heroin addict who's proud of it, Alexis. And this is her talking about, she was pretty rock bottoming, if that's a term. It's not. She was rock bottoming a bit. And she didn't care if she lived or died.
Honestly, at that point, I didn't care. Like my addiction was so bad, like live or die, I don't care. Like if I'm going to be in the 26 club, like YOLO.
So I looked up the 26 Club because I'm familiar with like the 27 Club. There's
Like,
a lot of people.
A lot of famous musicians died at the age of 27.
27.
That's what she thinks she's talking
I think
about.
so because I Googled the 26 Club and it said, did you mean the 27 Club? I said, no, not me.
Yeah.
Google, don't judge me. I did mean the 27 Club.
Do you
I'm
not
not
know?
rock bottoming.
The paper clip comes up and is like, do you really know what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I don't think that you do.
Are you an idiot? We're just going to put something on your permanent record that you're an idiot, and good luck with that.
Are you a heroin addict?
Good luck with your social score moving forward. I was just doing research for a podcast. All right. So this is great. So you got these teenage girls, and maybe there's a guy or two in the mix. There's 5 of them. And what they're doing is they're kind of looking at celebrity social media to know when they won't be home. And then they're going and robbing them while they're not home. And
Smart plan.
I mean, it's titillating. It's interesting. There were multiple, like Paris Hilton got hit, Orlando Bloom, a couple other big names. The problem isn't robbing celebrities. The problem is the journalism.
Is what I did awful? Of course. But I think ethical journalism is important. And Nick Prugo only said that I was at one house. Rachel Lee only said that I was at one house. Like, you have to follow the actual case and what I've been charged with, which was residential burglary for one house. And you can't possibly think that it is responsible journalism.
That is the real problem here, is ethical journalism.
Right.
If anything I've learned from this story, it's ethical journalism is a problem. They try to sensationalize the news. The hell are they thinking with that? By the way, I did pull an ISO.
Important.
Yeah.
She said important without using the word T once, or the sound of T one time.
There's 2 T's in it, right?
It's 2.
Important.
It's impressive. I don't know that I'd be able to do that.
Wow.
So she's so proud of herself in this crime spree that she wants to have her own documentary made about it.
HBO, Netflix, a number of these major networks wanted to do an actual Bling Ring documentary. And her and I had talked about kind of like teaming up to do one together with Aaron Carr, who is like one of the most incredible documentarians of our time. And I just thought it would be so amazing.
You're not supposed to be proud of this. You're not supposed to be trying to make a deal with people. Like, hey, you want to do a doc series about how I rob people?
Yeah, and also you just got done distancing yourself from the whole event.
Right.
And now so you deserve to be in like half of one episode. Now you're trying to be in a whole docu-series.
Yeah, right. Well, I told him to go to that house, and I was the one scoping out Paris Hilton's house. It's like,
this isn't my fault, but I deserve all the credit. Fucking idiot.
It's pretty impressive the way she does the mental gymnastics. Maybe she could write a book. Maybe I would subscribe to her newsletter. I don't know. Seems like she's got some shit going on. Andy, let's hop back over to Alex Cooper.
Sure, yeah.
And her amazing interviewing skills.
This is like the highlight of the interview where Alex tries to get her to explain what a muse is and how she's Kanye's muse or the Safdie brothers' muse for Uncut Gems. And neither one of them know what the definition of muse is.
Would you, because everyone's like, would you consider yourself Ye's muse?
Yeah, a little, maybe.
What does it even mean to no one that's ever been? Because I remember you were like, this is not the first time that I like. What is a muse?
I mean, I was Josh Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncut Gems.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like things like that.
Things like that.
Okay, well, that's a good definition.
I mean, well, Uncut Gems is about a degenerate gambler that gets himself killed for being a piece of shit. So you're saying that's you?
Use muse in a sentence. I was a muse once.
Yeah, I believe she inspired Gold Digger. I would buy that.
I think you wrote that before you met her.
You played yourself in a movie. So did Kevin Garnett, except he's talented at other things.
Thought you were going to go with like Shaq or something with that.
He's in the movie.
Oh, he's actually in the movie. Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense. And I haven't seen it. Is it good?
Yeah.
Mark Fellhauer says it sucks. It's a piece of crap. But you're saying that it's a good movie?
Whatever. Lower your standard. What do you want? What do you want from a movie?
And he says the same thing to his girlfriends.
Yeah.
What do you want? Lower your standards. This is where we are. What are you going to do?
Everybody else that's not Julia Fox did a lot of hard work in that movie.
They're trying. So this woman, Alexis, got sober. And that inspired Julia to get sober. Or did it?
And to help use that to inspire people to better their lives.
And you did that for me. Honestly, I remember seeing the Vice thing that you did about like when you were newly sober and you were trying to get your ex junkie boyfriend sober. And I was like, that was like during my rock bottom phase. And just like hearing your story, knowing that you got sober as someone I could relate to like her life, that inspired me to get sober.
And that's beautiful. And
so I just remembered that. I was like, damn, I really feel like she was a huge part of like me, you know.
Ooh, you'd have to say I just remembered that. Like, it was all going very nice. Like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. I'm so glad to hear this. Yeah, I just remembered that. Like, around the same time, that was when I was hitting my rock bottom. Maybe you're the reason why I got sober.
Yeah.
Sure, why
Maybe
not?
it's your fault.
Yeah, that's true, because they were so excited to watch that reality show she was on.
Yeah, it's just like us.
Yeah, they literally say it was just like us being on TV. No, it wasn't. That wasn't you on TV. I hate when people put themselves in the character, like, oh yeah, it's just like me solving crimes.
Right, yeah.
You don't solve crimes, Carl. You do a podcast where you laugh too much. It's not that impressive. So then they start talking about, well, we still vape and we still do, it's California sober rules where you can still do drugs. I do mushrooms and acid and whatever. It's not a big deal, and heroin every now and again. And then they talk about how even the vape, like sometimes you just have to have a cigarette. Sometimes a cigarette's what you need.
There are moments where I just want, like, especially if I'm out to dinner late on a date or something like that, like, I want to have a real, like, a Parliament Light after dinner. It's 11 o'clock at night. It's just
Full
so
stomach.
yummy. Yes.
After dinner's 11 o'clock at night, I eat dinner like 6. I've been in bed all week at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Holy shit. I can't relate to these people in any single way.
And when you wake up at noon.
So, yeah, I know. So then they're talking about if she was a celebrity in rehab. Because she goes to rehab, and meanwhile, they're making this movie about their escapades.
And Emma Watson played you, right? That's her name?
She did. Yeah,
That's
she
like
did.
major. Were people in rehab like did they were you like this like celebrity in rehab that like no one really like believed you? You're like, oh, Emma Watson's about to play me.
So at that point, I was like nearly out of rehab. So I think that like the timelines don't really match up there perfectly. Right. No, I was voted least likely to succeed in my rehab.
Two things. Why are they voting on least likely to succeed? It seems like it wouldn't be very motivational to do something like that.
Yeah.
I got miscongeniality in my rehab.
Also, it sounds like she's very used to being in court. She goes, well, the timelines don't match up there. Like, I could make up a lie, but someone could fact check me on it. So I'm not going to. Instead of just saying, well, no, actually, when the movie came out, I wasn't in rehab. She's like, I'd love to say that I was a celebrity in there, but actually, I wasn't in rehab when the movie came out.
Not as glamorous as you think.
Least likely to succeed. So then they start talking about rehab and how effective it is. And I don't know. It sounds to me like rehab is pretty fucking awesome.
I have a friend that's in her like 20th rehab right now.
Yeah.
And she only goes to the lavish ones with like a private suite with like a bathtub, pedicure. Like she's in her 20th rehab.
Damn.
Like, not even an exaggeration.
Could you imagine those interventions? Hey, guess what, hon? Time to go to rehab.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Carl, I want to go to rehab.
Yeah, right? Do you want to go take a vacation at a resort? Yeah, that actually sounds good. I've been doing drugs for so much. I needed time for myself here. That'd be
Unbelievable.
be amazing. So this person, not even exaggerating, rehab 20 times. And then they say this.
It takes like 12 times on average for someone to get sober.
It takes 12 times on average.
I'm getting angry
for
now.
someone to
I'm
get
really
sober.
getting furious at these people.
So I did look this up, and I'm not saying that this is the correct information, but according to Google, most people need 2 or less stints in rehab in order to get sober. But the average is 12 according to them. And then I realized why she said that, because they keep saying 12 about everything.
It takes like 12 times on average for someone to get sober. A year later, half of our clientele is still sober. The national average is like 12%.
I was lucky that my rehab was like 12-step orientated. Like, thank God.
Oh, okay. So they're doing the 12-step program. So all they can think of is things in 12.
All I remember from
Okay.
rehab was how many steps there were.
Yeah. I got to go to rehab 12 times. That's not what this says. No, that's a 12-step program, right? I go to rehab 12 times.
Yeah.
Ma'am, that's not what this is. Yeah, but if I don't, I only have a 12% chance of getting sober. No, we never said that. I promise you, no one's ever said that.
You said that if I stepped into rehab 12 times, that I would not be on heroin anymore. What a fucking idiot.
I do like the idea of recovering from drug addiction by taking drugs.
I've microdosed psilocybin in recovery.
I want to know about that.
We can talk about that. Like,
your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
So I'm just drinking too much. I need to start doing mushrooms every day, all day long.
You're saying I can kick drugs by doing drugs?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Stop doing those drugs. Do these drugs. All right. Sounds good. You got to hook up. I'm in. All right, Andy, back to our friend Alex Cooper.
Actually, we're going to switch gears.
All right.
Now, this is going to be pre-Uncut Gems coming out, her on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Oh, okay. So she's promoting the movie?
Right.
Okay.
And this is her talking about her acting process and how art imitates life.
But these guys, obviously, you were friendly with them over the course of 5 years.
Yeah.
Did they write it specifically for you in any way?
They kind of did. I think at first it was just kind of this character, and then after meeting me, it kind of coincidentally developed to be very similar to who I am.
I see. So that character is similar to you?
Very.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh, so the character who's the mistress of a married man and steals his money after he's murdered. That's just like you. Cool. Okay. See yourself out. Thank you.
Also, she talks about her art all the time.
Yeah.
How obsessed she is with her art. Like, what's your art? Well, I'm an actor. Well, what have you done? I played myself.
Right, yeah.
Well, then I'm also an actor.
I do it every day.
I'm one of the greatest artists you've ever seen. All day long, I'm an artist.
Funny
It's
you say
amazing.
that, Carl. In clip 8, this is her acting class.
Done any acting before?
No.
None?
No.
Not a school play or anything like that?
No.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I like to refer to myself as like an actress of life. You know, like I kind of have always been acting, like, you know, whether it's like try to be normal or try to be, you know, whatever it is.
Or suck off Harvey Weinstein or whatever you got to do.
Yeah. Act like you care about people and not just where they could take your career. Or act like you didn't sleep your way onto a movie set or a talk show set.
Who was the host of that? What were we listening to?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel should have been like, how many dicks did you suck to get in this movie? You've never had an acting role once in your life. You can't even lie about it like Stuttering John. You can't say you were really good in second grade or something.
Yeah. But now that she's done one movie, she's a professional, Carl. Clip 9.
Are you like, okay, now I'm an actor. Now I'm going to go on auditions and I'm going to be in things?
Yes.
Yes. So now you're serious about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Very.
So this movie came out in 2019.
Yes.
Now you look at her IMDb, it's the most padded fucking IMDb. There's 11 credits.
Okay.
2 of them are shorts.
WATP made fun of me.
Yeah. One is a fucking podcast.
Of course.
There's one podcast. There's 2 shorts, 2 music videos. That's not acting.
No.
And then a one-off TV appearance. And then, one that isn't even out yet.
So what you're saying is, because I heard her saying that she's writing a script right now. She's writing a movie. She's got a bunch of deals in production. Yeah. You don't think that she actually has a very long career in Hollywood? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's
okay
to be new at something. You don't have to act like you're
she's
Jeff
been there.
Goldblum.
She grew up in New York.
Yeah.
She's super comfortable being on the spotlight.
Oh, yeah, she's earned her place.
She's earned it.
That's all I got.
Okay, that's fine. I want to wrap things up talking about how, man, this is just a fucking bummer.
With Prozac, I literally asked Evan to 5150 me because I had a plan to kill myself. And someone mentioned microdosing, which is actually what I'm going to go do after we finish this phone call because I am hitting a bit of a depression after that miscarriage.
I got the results of the test back. I definitely have breast cancer.
This conversation is going on and on about she's figured out life and she's got everything under control and she knows all the secrets. And then she goes, and I'm probably going to take mushrooms as soon as we hang up because I just had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
And they never bring that up again. They're not like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Anything.
Yeah.
Just like gloss over it. All right, let's stop the miscarriage. Sorry, let's get back to partying.
Please.
Let's get back to partying.
Sounds like you got it all figured out.
Well, she
Except
does.
carrying a child to term, but everything else, it's all figured out. Too soon? What?
She definitely has it all figured out. She knows exactly who's to blame for all the problems in the United States.
Yeah.
But Nikki, before that, why are we so traumatized? That's,
to begin with, that's the root of the problem that we need to
it's
tackle.
Like we keep just putting Band-Aids in place. We have to recognize that living under capitalism,
I was just going to say capitalism,
patriarchy is killing all of us.
Oh, it's capitalism with the patriarchy.
Oh, my God.
It's killing everyone. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Don't forget to check out my Patreon, though.
You know how many drug-addicted reality TV stars there are in North Korea, Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, Carl's picking the worst example. Look at Carl defending capitalism versus North Korea. They go on to talk about how horrible it is living in this country.
I know billionaires who are wanting to die at this point in their lives, right?
Miss USA just jumped off a building.
And ended her life. It does not matter.
Fucking crazy.
Miss USA killed herself because of capitalism and the patriarchy? Is that what I am to believe, Andy?
Yeah.
The actual answer, because this is known, she killed herself because of social media. She was being cyberbullied to the point where she killed herself.
Oh, my God.
And if there's one thing that's bad for all of us, and they wonder why everyone's traumatized, it's because of social media.
Yeah.
Like, there's studies done. The companies themselves know this. They've done the studies. It leaked. We all know social media is bad for you, and it's causing anxiety. 1 in 3 young women want to kill themselves. It's a real fucking problem. They go through blaming on capitalism and men, and then say this.
I love the way you like handle things and like the way you like talk about it on Instagram and just like you have such an amazing
delivery.
Yeah, but also just like perspective on life and emotions and feeling. And
these fucking morons immediately after talking about Miss USA killing herself are like, by the way, you on Instagram fucking love it.
That's
amazing.
Great. Yeah.
You have an amazing profile.
Every time I go on Instagram, I got a microdose.
I went on Instagram and had a miscarriage, but other than that, it's great. I love what you're up to.
Who are these podcasts? WATP.